the foreign minister conveniently chooses the part of history that he likes, number one. That is, he begins in 1952 when Ethiopia was federated with, Eritrea was federated with Ethiopia by an act of the United Nations, in which the decision was made not just by Ethiopia and Eritrea, but by the United Nations. So the decision of federation was not solely Eritrea's or solely Ethiopia's. But there was a history before that. There is a history that created Eritrea. There is a history of colonialism. There is a history of war before 1952. There is a history of colonial occupation. He said that the history is from 1942 to 2025, but he stopped in 2018. So that is about the choice of the history that he wanted to emphasize. As far as the interpretation of that history is concerned, Ethiopia has always been right. Ethiopia has always been on the right side of history. Ethiopia is the do-gooder. Ethiopia is beyond reproach. It's an impeccable history that Ethiopia had, even under the feudal imperial state, even under the Derg. That the Eritreans on the other side, it's only he talks only about the state of Eritrea since 1993, but he doesn't really talk about the Eritreans, how they perceive their presence in Ethiopia. He doesn't talk about that. So he omits history, the prehistory before the federation, and the after history after the Prosperity Party came to power, or the current prime minister came to power. So it's a choice. It's a choice to emphasize one's righteousness, but simply ignoring that the other side also has a cause. What prevented the rich history of the Horn, the richness, the resource richness of the Horn, to be translated into peaceful coexistence? So there is a lot of history that we cannot go into, but there is a denial of history, and there is also a flawed interpretation of history. But if the relationships must be on an equal footing, it should start by recognizing the other side also has its own perception and interpretation of history. But that was completely bereft of the presentation that the foreign minister made.